Okay. If I start talking, do you start to see me? Give me a thumbs up. Yep. Okay, awesome. Okay. Go ahead and start with your feet pointed straight ahead, hip bone distance apart. Take some deep breaths, and you can just join your hands together in front of your heart. Again, I loved that, bringing the past and the future together to the present moment. Use the pressure of your hands together to make the rib cage get more broad, so more wide. Fingertips joining together, phalanges, finger bases, so that you almost make a suction between your hands. And like you're pressing and pulling your hands apart at the same time. Let that allow the space in your rib cage to open and breathe breath more into the back side of your body. And then connect into your feet, drawing energy up from the floor, taking the big toes down and all four little toes down. And just move your ankles a bit so that you can invite the sensations around the entire leg to turn on, front and back, so that the muscles on the back side of the leg are drawing energy up to give you lift between the bones and space. And then bring your arms down to the side and start your head rotations. Keep some engagement in your belly and some engagement in your glutes. And then just turn your head to the right and to the left. Opening up the neck. Then take your ear towards your shoulder, reaching the opposite arm away from you and open up that side body. Inhale, come up, second side, ear towards your shoulder, reach the arm away, open that space. And coming up, and then take your hands behind your neck. Hold the space open in your neck, gently press the neck back into your hands, and then look up, lifting your chin, being careful to control the rib cage. The whole rib cage can lift, but don't just let the front rib cage pop forward. So the whole thing can raise up off of your hips a little bit as you take your neck back. Open space, and then come forward. Arms down by your sides, big head roll all the way around. Let's do 3 times, and then reverse it. And then take it into your shoulders, up and back and around, strong elbows, 10 circles backwards. As we do circles, we begin to play with all of the movement of the shoulder. So elevation, retraction, protraction away from the body and up and around. Depression is also in there. Notice the difference between the two sides of your shoulders as you do that. Begin to go forward and up and around. Excellent. And then let your arms just hang at your shoulders, elbows bent. Open up your whole arm, feeling the muscles on the back side of the shoulder begin to turn on. A little bit of a stretch through the pec and the front of the shoulder. And just connect deeply into those back muscles. But take a deep breath and press the shoulder blades off your back a little bit, more wide. Let the rounding come into your upper back. Full breath, and then bring your arms in. Rotate the arm bone, just movement in the arm bone. Let's do this 10 times, all the way back as if you're going to the wall behind you and in. Connecting to those back shoulder muscles. Then hold the arms out here, bring them up over your head, letting the whole entire shoulder slide up. Let's unfold the elbows, reach toward the sky. Full breath. Exhaling all the air out, getting narrow at your waistline. Full breath in. Then elbows come down, release all the way down, arms down. Good. Up, unfold the elbows, reach. Shoulders coming up, down, elbows unfold. Or shoulders unfold, really. Shoulders up, elbows unfold, reach, big breath. Come down, release it down. Nice. Now just go through that action maybe 5 more times, arm glides. And release your arms all the way down. Fold your fingers to meet the palms, arms out to your sides. Bring them all the way up. 40 circles forward. Feel all the way down to your feet, drawing energy up the legs. Turn on the muscles on the front and the back of the leg, into the glutes. And backwards, palms up. And release. Arms out to the side, over to one side, windmill. Open up the side body, full breath in. Exhale the air all the way out. Inhale, come up. Other side. Over, full breath in. Expanding laterally. Open up the space in your ribs. Exhale completely. Inhale up. One more. Over to one side. Full breath in. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Over. Full breath in. Exhale. Inhale up. Excellent. Grab your blocks. or block. Place both 1 or 2 blocks down on the floor. You could also use your chair. Feet wider than hip width apart for right now. Bend over, bend your knees, and use the space to reach your rib cage away from your hips. Bend your knees and pull your hips back behind your ankles. And see if you can feel all the way at your feet, toes, and big toes and little toes down on the floor. Again, turning on the front and the back of the leg, and then connecting to your butt muscles and pull the thigh bones more back. Inhale halfway up, stretch one side of the ribs away from the other, and then fold, letting your hips take that. You can wiggle in your hips a little bit and see if it feels even. Come halfway up, pull your hips back again and reach your rib cage forward. Then take one arm forward and reach way out there. 3 breaths. You should start to feel your glutes turn on. Continue to have the butt muscles pull your thigh bones back away from you. Switch arms. 3 more breaths. And both hands down, let your body just fold over. Then use your butt muscles and come all the way up to standing. Halfway down again, hands together in that sphere of tension. Hips back, reaching your hips in the opposite direction of your rib cage. Keep your ribs and hip bones connected so that the front ribs are staying in, and that honoring of the rounding of your thoracic back. And then pull again in opposite directions, feeling the back of the leg create the pull and the lift. Find your breath, stay with your breathing, connect to your toes, the muscles up in the calves, and the back side of the leg a lot. And then come all the way up. Excellent. Make sure that there's a little bit of room in front of you. I'm gonna have you do a little bit of a squat. And then here's your balance. You're gonna reach up, try to touch your toes or somewhere on your leg. And then down, other side. Squat, lift. We'll do 10 of these. Down, reach to the calf or the toes. Good. Down, squat. Use all of the muscles, try to squat evenly. Reach. Find your balance. Feel those quads turn on as you extend that leg. Excellent. Now, opposite hand to opposite heel, curl it back. The belly needs to stay really connected as you curl that leg, try to touch your heel, and then back down, little squat again, curl, opposite hand. Now I just got a cramp in my hamstring, so likely as you bring that leg all the way up to get that little cramp, up, down, 10 more. Nice. And then arms out to the side as you finish up. Side leg lifts. Then cross it in front of your body so you get adductor engagement also. And then out again. Now this time cross behind you. Keep everything as still as possible. Out, in, out, behind. And release. Second side. Excellent. Now just stand there. Hopefully that feels like the muscles around your legs are working together a little better, like there's more awareness and strength happening in all of those muscles. Take your hands and try to clasp the elbows behind you, and then reset your rib cage. And take a breath. This may be enough. This is going to be a stretch for the front of the shoulder. If you can, try to lift your arms away from your back and just hold. It may only be a tiny bit off your back. See if you can connect more into the back of your shoulders to find the muscles that can do that. And then change the grasp. And again. So this is subscapularis, one of the rotator cuff muscles. It's a test to pull that arm off. So doing it with both, we're just connecting into the muscles that are underneath the shoulder blade. And release. Now go hands clasped this way. Open the front of the shoulder. Really pull where that pec connects up into the top of the shoulder. Set the rib cage. Bend your knees slightly and open that up. Feel your breath expanding into the rib cage in all directions, 360. When we get into challenging positions, even if it's just challenging like this, the tendency is to hold the breath, and sometimes it's necessary to hold the breath to create that kind of pressure, but we actually are more functional when we can get into a position even with load and maintain full 360 breaths. Good. Switch the grasp again, just so it feels a little weird. Maybe that's just switching the fingers, and then open it up one more time. Squeeze the forearms together, pull the shoulders apart. Take out all of that computer, cell phone, front of the body stuff. And release. Excellent. Coming down into a seated position in your chair. Go ahead and grab your strap or belt. And then place the strap or belt over the knees and then tighten it down so it's about fist width apart. Place a little bit of an arch in your back by taking your sit bones back and wide, and then get right on top of your sit bones so that you have some arch but not way overarched. And then the rib cage, kind of measuring sticks, hip bones to rib cage, even, and then just rest your hands in your lap. Press out against your strap and feel the muscles on the outside of your hips, and then release. Let's do a set of 20 of these. Abductor presses. The abductors are TFL, which is right up here. Glutes tie into the IT band that run all the way to the outside of the knee and help stabilize the position of the knee. For those of us who have leg bones also, where one or both tends to rotate medially or externally, this helps to just reset the femur in the hip sockets so that that can rotate and spin evenly when we're walking or moving. Or it may take some rotation out at the knee if there's a medial femur, but the lower leg is trying to align more correctly. This ties it all together. Press, release. Feel it on the outside of those hips. Do your best to make it even. If you need to make that little adjustment like I did to get it to be more even, do so. Have about 10 more. Now press and hold out against that. Take your hands up to your temples. Float your rib cage up. Take a deep full breath. Exhale the breath completely. Elbows all the way in, all the way out. Feel the muscles on the back side of your shoulder turn on. How about those hips? Are they starting to burn? Good. Elbows stay narrow. You can open your hands and just put them on the side of your head. Elbows narrow toward your nose. Lift the rib cage to the ceiling. Pull out against the strap so the hips stay stable. Turn your neck up to the sky. Turn the side ribs up. Keep going. Try to make your spine like a rainbow to the side. Inhale, come up. Second side. Head, ribs. Open it up, elbows stay narrow toward your nose. Pull out against the strap so you're stable at the lower body. Big full breath. Inhale, come up. And release. Release your legs. Give them a little break. And then squint your toes. If I can take it all the way down. Squint your toes all up, working your feet a little bit. All three arches, inside, outside, and across the toes, get to work here. Then try to spread the toes wide, taking them all away from each other. And then squeeze the toes together, just slide them on the floor, just like you would do with your fingers. You might even need your fingers to help you just mirror the muscles in your feet to your hands. Open them, squeeze, open, squeeze. Good, and then big toes lift, 4 toes stay down. Big toes down, 4 toes up. 4 toes down, big toes lift. Then tap the big toe 5 times. Tap and lift. My right foot's still working on this. Big toes down, 4 toes up. Tap the 4 toes 5 times. Own the action. Find it and then own it. And then all the way up on your toes, back on your heels. You can keep a little pressure out against this just so that you're still stable at the base of your hips. And then just toe taps 10 times, heels stay down. See if you can get one higher than the other. My left one is definitely higher than my right. See if yours can be even. And then toes stay down, heel lift. Use the muscles in the front of your hips to pull that up, hip flexors. And then evert, sliding them out, and invert. Everything else stable. That's at the ankle. Now try to keep the ankle still and make it happen from way up here at the knee. That's part of your hamstring actually doing some of that. Good, and then one more time, back to rocking chair, get that all tied back together. And release. Come down onto your hands and knees on your mat. Place your hands down so that you go fingertips to palms, and then see if you can squeeze again the wrist to make almost like a suction cup onto the floor. And then get really strong through your arms. Let's start with cats and dogs here. Try to hug your hands, hug your elbows together, try to press your hands apart, get really strong through the arms, and then go ahead and take it into cats and dogs. And then right into hand leg opposite lifts. So then get still through your low back. Find the middle between squeezing your shoulder blades or the retraction and the protraction. Find the middle so that you're strong in your upper back and integrated through the side body, and then take it into a hand leg opposite lift. If this is enough for you, stay there. If you want to add a little more, turn the leg out, bring the knee and elbow into squares, and then press them back out. Strong body. In and out. If you want even more, you can extend them out to the side, pull them in, and back out. One more, then switch sides. Whatever version is feeling good for you today. Hand leg opposite. Staying there. Turning the knee and elbow out and bringing the knee and elbow back, and then extending back out again. Or adding that extra press. Lots of spinal stabilization. And release. Come down onto your elbows. Hands can just be out. Squeeze your elbows in towards each other. And then see if you can protract your shoulders together on your back. And then press them back apart. The whole time, you can imagine that you're hugging a block in like that with your forearms, really. Squeezing in. And that will let you move into the shoulder a lot. Down and up a couple of times. Now really imagine that you're squeezing that in. We're going to work the upper back. So round through the upper back, a little bit of a tailbone tuck in the low back. So not sticking it way out, but tuck a little bit. And then just hover the elbows off the floor and connect into your belly. And release. Good. A little bit of a tailbone tuck. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Press the shoulder blades apart, rounding in your upper back. And then press the elbows off the floor. Hover. Find your breath, 360 breath. Look at your elbows. Make sure they're both hugging in the same. Getting strong in the shoulders. And release it down. Nice. Then extend your right leg out straight on the floor. Tuck your toes. And then see if you can just lift the left knee off the floor. If you want to come up onto your hands, you may do that also, but this is like a half plank. So forearms hugging in towards each other again. Strong shoulders, rounding just slightly through the belly, and then hover. Take a 10-second hover. And release. Switching sides. Slight rounding through the upper back, through the low belly, connecting to your abs. Squeeze the forearms, press the hands, hugging in, hover. Connecting to the thigh on that straight leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Full plank, elbows or hands are fine, depending on what you're after for your wrists. And then both legs out straight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it down and have a seat. Good work. That should feel like everything's turning on. Cross your left leg over your right. Sit up really tall. Take the left hand behind you. Turn. If it feels good to you to pull that right leg under, go for it and then sit into your hips again. Big full breath in, get longer and taller. Root your hips down into the floor, rise up. Connect to your breath. Use the breath to help things that are in somewhat of a contraction, allow them to go into that expansion. Letting the hips get more even on the floor. Letting the spine twist a little more. Bring health into your body with each breath. Oxygen, light. Untwist, switch sides. Just take a moment to notice the two sides. How are they different in your body? Again, feel any contraction that might exist and allow the expansion to happen. Sometimes we have to go into the contraction a little bit. So if something won't release easily, squeeze it more. And then see if that can allow for the expansion to happen. Untwist. Extend both legs out straight on the floor. Sit really tall, hands behind you, open the shoulder again, that pec connection. Rise up, femur rotations, 10 times, out and in. Wider. Feel those deep six muscles in your hip, pull the femur around, then adductors and glute medius and minimus internally rotate that leg bone. Wider once more. And then bring it in, come onto your back. And Go ahead and lie back on the ground. Grab your block, so keep it close. Feet on the floor, knees bent. Go ahead and lengthen your spine on the floor. Find your glutes and tuck your tailbone, go into some pelvic tilts. Feel your toes on the ground again to connect into the back side of the leg. And lift back and forth a couple of times. And then just stop. 20 squeezes, find your butt muscles. Soft belly right now. Slight curve in the lower back. Squeeze and release your glutes and just feel them contract evenly. You can press your feet down into the floor so that the whole leg is connected from the bottom of the foot into the calf, into the hamstring, into the butt. Check your shoulders and make sure that the shoulder blades are open in the front and tucked underneath in the back, but still you have that gentle rounding in your upper back. Feel the neck come into alignment. Good. Then right leg in the air, left leg on the floor, lift and lower. Let's do 15. Switch. And then both together, 15 more, lift and lower. Take your block or your pillow, place it in your upper back, and just give your body a minute to just open up that upper back and shoulder space. Take a few deep breaths. And then release it. And do one downward facing dog pose to tie everything together. Hands on the floor again in that kind of suction so that the wrist is really safe. Tuck your toes, hips up, Find the balance in your upper body. Allow your shoulder blades to slide toward your ears, and then hug the sides of your armpits down toward the floor so that the points of the elbows are turning back toward your knees. That will create some torque in the shoulder and the most stable shoulder position that we can find. And just breathe. If you are easily able to go too much in your upper back, be a little bit of a container and pull the low ribs in. If it's your hamstrings that need it, bend your knees a little bit and work that hamstring area a little bit more by pressing towards straight. If it's the calves, then really root your heels toward the floor. And release down. Come onto your back. Either legs up over your chair or just legs out straight into your Shavasana position. Take these few minutes to show up in the present moment, right here, right now. Connect deeply into the breath, to the inhalation and exhalation that happens whether you're paying attention to it or not. But that paying attention or bringing awareness to it can allow for your attention to be on the health of your body. In any position, paying attention to your breathing can just elevate how much oxygen is coming into your body, where the oxygen is flowing, and on that deeper level can connect you to the pulsation of everything in the universe, the expansion and contraction of everything that we know. Paying attention to your breathing can also bring your attention out of the habits of the mind and how easily it is to go into the distraction of thinking. So if you notice during this time that you are pulled into a thought, then just use your breath to come back to the breath, to come back to right now. If you pay attention to that, there are lots of parts of the self this particular time can feel like those parts might be a little fragmented. So to make that more clear, in my experience, part of me wants to know all of what's going on. Part of me wants to be able to know what's going to happen in the future. And when I can shift out of those parts that are grasping for the knowledge and show up right here, I can come to that resting place. So for right now, see if you can ask the parts of yourself just to get quiet. And I'm going to give you again 2 minutes. And see if it's helpful for you to just imagine that there's a spinning pearl of light that is at the place kind of where your third eye would be, or the place in the center of your forehead. And expand that pearl of light so that it encompasses your head. And then expand it again so that it's encompassing your torso. Invite more light in so that that grows, so that your entire body is surrounded by pure healing light. And for the next 2 minutes, just imagine that all of the things that support health and aliveness and joy and friendship is part of what's swirling in that healing circle of light that you're encompassed in. And that every cell in your body is getting nourished by light and oxygen. Begin to shrink that light again. Before you shrink it, actually, hold on. Just invite all of that energy, the fullness of that energy, the bigness of that energy to stay with you. But as we shrink it, we're gonna just put it in a little package that you can hold for the day. Back into that pearl. So begin to shrink it down without diminishing the amazing force that exists within it. And invite some movement back into your body. And you can keep that pearl of light with you, either at the area of the third eye, or even imagine that you're just putting it in your pocket to find later in the day. If you need a reminder that you have all of this support from me, from your friends, and from the energy of the universe to find health in your body. Okay, I'm going to open it up and take you off mute. Thank you for being here. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ira, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it that one toe can separate, or when the big toe can separate on one foot, but I cannot get it to separate from the other toes?
Yeah. So sometimes the muscles can kind of attach together through little bits of calcium, and they can
Brady.
bond together. And some of it is just that the motor control in your body hasn't been active for a long time in that area. So it takes practice. It took me at least a week to get my right big toe, and even still, you can tell that it is a little bit special. So I'm still working on it. That's also the side for me that is my knee. So figure out what's going on in your body. We also do things like shove our feet into shoes and ski boots and stuff like that, which tends to weaken the intrinsic muscles of the foot. So finding both the motor control and the muscle activation can just take some practice.
Thank you, Kyra. We
Hi,
can also
Bradle.
activate it by wiggling it with our hand, right?
Here, let's see if we can see some other people.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
See you Tuesday.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
There you go.
Bye.
What do you want?
See you
See you
next week,
Tuesday.
Kyra.
Okay.
Next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
You too.
Be safe.
Small
Thank
girls.
you.
Oh, small girls. And girls. Okay,
Thank you.
what are we gonna do with all those chipmunks?
Here, everybody.
What?
I think you should go get the chipmunks. What the heck? What's that? Okay.